Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today I am here to read aloud the book I have written. The first chapter of the book is Arrival of a Mysterious Girl. I will not say the title of the book right now, you will get to know later on. First, Arrival of a Mysterious Girl in my home. Amidst the early morning sunshine of the first day of my autumn break, my favorite season, at a sudden, few drops of sparkling raindrops were approaching towards the earth. Meanwhile, I was roaming around outside, enjoying the simultaneous rain and sunshine. The weather condition gave me some extraordinary feeling about the transient nature, about how the nature changes its face suddenly. I lifted my face up, stretched my hand outwards to face the sprinkle of the rain, since it was an internal pleasure for me to feel the bounty of nature. As I was about to cheer and call my friends to enjoy the sprinkles along with me, suddenly nature got raised and the clouds covered up the sun with its spheres. I was still outside to feel even that rage for a while, because I like that nature's anger too. But after some time, the whole world blackened, as if night would start its dominance before the morning could start its goodness. The day turned into night, but the clock only struck 9 a.m., and my favorite weather turned into a mournful one within a minute by the supernatural power. Now, the ultimate solution for me was to move inside my house. I felt perhaps I would get wetted that day. But fortunately, I could quickly run inside my house and lock the door behind me. As soon as I locked the door, someone arrived in a rush. Someone mysterious arrived in a rush and started knocking the door repeatedly. That it seemed the person was in an urgent meeting with me, but before unlocking the door, I kept my calm to peep out to confirm who the person was. In such a terrible condition, perhaps wanting shelter as it was about to rain, but I couldn't figure out the person as it was vague outside due to condensed glass pane of window. After cleaning the glass pane, I was shocked to see an strange teenager girl. I had never seen the face before. The face was so dull but beautiful. A face covered with emotions but filled with innocence. Totally down to earth, in due shame, her hand was knocking the door in a very hesitant manner. It was about to rain outside. Perhaps that was the reason behind her hastiness. I didn't know why I felt for her, and without asking my parents, I just quickly opened the door and asked her to sit at the veranda. As soon as she entered our house, it started raining so heavily that I myself was unable to hear my own voice. At first, I didn't ask anything details to her, as because I remembered that someone had earlier advised me to observe the critical side of every situation and critical face of every people, mainly strangers. Behind every face, there is a mysterious second face, which is either white or black. So I started thinking critically to myself after the girl asked me to call my parent instead of asking for shelter. Actually, why this girl is here? She is not carrying any bag, so she is not a beggar instead. But she is in rags, which indicates that she is extremely poor. I have always observed that even the poor teenage girl also tried their best to maintain their dress up. Since this teenage period is the only period people are more showy than the reality, but this girl is unique in the sense. Deshabai. Maybe this girl is extraordinarily poor beyond my imagination. Meanwhile, I was in confused state, seeing that she was frightening also. What if she is a criminal and that's why she is frightening and come here in my home to take shelter? Or perhaps it is also possible that she is not frightening but she is shivering due to cold. These are the thoughts rushing in my mind. At an instant, in between the suspense, I remembered about another advice that we should be friendly towards strangers. Now I changed my thought and orchestrated my courage to ask her something about her intentions. Hi, do you know me or my parents? I asked this as because many of the time I used to meet people who knew me from my childhood, but I don't know them. I don't know them all. As since from my childhood, I had been staying away from my home and relatives in a boarding school. No, I don't. I don't know. But she replied hesitantly. But what? I asked her to continue. This time she began to stammer after a long silence in a deep, rambling voice as if her heart will come out from inside. But the people in the market direct me to come to this home. She replied, but the people in the market direct me to come to this home. They told me that perhaps your mother is in need of a housemaid, and I was also searching for a job as a housemaid.